Hey everybody, this is Bo Brotherton from BetterTogetherLife.com, trying to teach you how to swim upstream and challenge the status quo and to just live a better life in terms of getting out of the rat race. And if you want to get out of suburbia, we want to be able to help you to learn how to do that. I know that a lot of y'all are already part of this community, and so I want to say, hey, thank you so much for everything that you're doing for our YouTube channel. Please keep the comments coming. We love it. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And if you're new, welcome. Please, I encourage you to go down into some of our other videos and just to play a little catch up and to see what we're doing. We're a family that is literally moving out of the suburbs. This is kind of, think of it your prequel. If you like the normal homesteading videos, this is the prequel to that. You're going to have about 9 months of us preparing to sell our suburban home and move on to our 7.5 acres. So today I'm going to be going over our permaculture design for our future homestead. I've actually tried to do this once before. This is the second time that I've attempted to do this. And I had a 40-minute card on there to record the audio for it, and I went over that. So I'm trying to do this very concisely. What I think this is going to have to be is a series of going over our design plan. It's not going to be in consecutive order, but we'll definitely be able to dive into more details of this. But for today, we're going to just do an overview of the cool visual part of this. So let's get to it. Before we continue, I need to say that I hired out this design. So this is not I'm not a permaculture designer. I hired someone. I'm a video guy. And so I'm going over his design with his approval. And his name is Pete Van Dyke of DroughtProofTexas.com. I'll put a link down in the show notes up here for you to go check him out. He's a great guy, knows his stuff. Beautiful, beautiful earthworks, like gorgeous. Okay. So in the opening, you're able to see a little bit of how the design plan is laid out on top of Google Earth. So it's kind of nice and concise that you can see where things are. And then let me pull up. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to pull up my screen recorder. It might get a little bit noisy. My computer, you'll be able to hear it on the microphone, so I'm sorry. It's just going to be the easiest way that we can do this. The number one thing that this property is going to need is water harvesting. We are on the top of a hill, so we are kind of at the top of the watershed. We're not getting any runoff from our neighbors. That's good because we're not going to have to worry about flooding, but it's bad because we don't get to harvest anybody else's water because it's not going to come onto our property. So we need to capture every single drop of water that hits our land and our homestead. I'm going to show you an image right here where it shows you a little elevation map. Each of these little lines is 5 feet of elevation drop. So right at the center of the forest hill, that's the top of the property. Everything's going to run down to the south and to the north. I think it's about 70 something feet drop from the top of the hill down to where the pond is going to be in the south side of the property. And it's about a 55 feet drop from the top of the hill to the north. Right here, you'll see the legend. Can't go into detail about that because we don't have time, but you'll see that. Here's north, go that away sort of. And let's go back over here. Okay, let's talk about the road. The road is designed to let big trucks in. So it's not at a 90-degree angle. They're going to come from this side over here, and they're going to come straight in so that they can kind of get a good angle there. Big trucks, like talking big dump trucks with material. And then the road, the access way, they'll be able to come all the way down here and then do a little loop around and then like just turn and back in and then hit the road. So they don't have to do the they don't have to do the Austin Powers of Anyway, then what you'll see is you have some lawn here. This is where our house is going to be, either the shed house, a garage, or something like that. Then typical raised bed garden on right here. We're going to have that. This will be kind of like little mini swales where you have the walkways are going to be water harvesting. And then we'll have little, berms that are going to, not really berms, just going to be raised beds on the ground, not wood. And then these yellow areas here are going to be pasture. That is for probably where we're going to tractor chickens. Most likely the first animals that we're going to have is going to be meat chickens, because it anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks we'd be able to have just about a year's worth of meat in our freezer. And so we want to start slow with that, and it'll be able to help build our soil, help our land, and we don't have to have the commitment that we can't take a vacation with our kids right away with eggs. We're definitely going to get layers, just not sure when that's going to be. Okay, and then you'll see a little bit of pasture on this side as well. Okay, now we're going to dive into what everybody wants to go over is food forests and swales. I can't go into detail about swales right now. We'll do other videos in coming up. But basically, a swale is a ditch on contour. So if you have a hill like this, it's gonna come down. I'm looking at the screen. You're gonna dig a ditch like this, and then on the downhill side, you're gonna have a berm. So you take that material and you dump it here, and it's gonna be in a line on contour. And that way, when water runs down, you hold the water as high on the property for as long as you can. And it will just sit there and soak into that berm, and then you plant fruit trees on both sides of the ditch, on the berm and then on the uphill side of the swale as well. So then those trees are gonna soak in, they're gonna get all that good nutrient. If you wanna know a great visual of what swales look like, I'll put a video up here of Jack Spirko of the Survival Podcast. He's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he runs a duck farm. And he's got great footage of his ducks swimming in the swales because the water just sits there and soaks. And so he's able to hold all of the water on his land, and his ducks love it whenever he has a heavy rainfall. So check out that video for sure. First swale right here, it's going to be closest to the garden. Water's going to run down. It's going to soak in here. Then in a heavy rain event, it's going to spill out, and then it'll go down the pasture, and then it'll get caught in this lower swale. And as you see, these are really big trees down here. Now those are going to be like nut trees, oak, pecan, and stuff like that. And then when those fill over, they're going to be a spillway on this side, and it's going to go off the property. Now, because of the fact that we don't have any kind of runoff water, Pete came up with a great idea of taking this swale here, and this is going to be at a very slight, so all the other swales on the property are directly on contour. This swale is just a little bit not. So over here closest to the house is going to be the high point, and then slowly, very gently, it's going to have a down slope. So what it's going to do is going to take the water that falls on the north side of this hill, and it's going to go through the pasture. It's going to hit this swale. And it's very, very slowly, very, very gently going to just walk, not even run. It's just going to just kind of slowly work its way down here so that it goes to the south side of the property. The same thing is going to happen on this side. The reason for that is because whenever I consulted with Pete before we even bought the property, it was very important for us to be able to have a pond. We have kids. I want to be able to fish with my boys. I just want a pond. And for him, and he agreed that would be a good thing for us to have, is a pond. And so we need to be able to get more water on the south side of the property to hold that pond as much as we can. You see the road, that's pretty self-explanatory. These little dotted lines though, these are just walking paths. So that's, we just do that with a tractor, weed eater, lawnmower or something like that. We'll just keep those walking lanes clear, and so that we can access everything around the property. We have these swales that wrap around, and it takes the water from the north all the way to the south. Then the back side is just gonna be normal swales here. But eventually all this water is going to slowly work its way down to the pond. And then this is the coolest part about this design that I love. This is the pond. In the write-up, Pete has this as a 0.15, so a 15% of an acre pond. That makes me kind of sad. I originally wanted, like as big as of a pond as I can get. So I'm trying to figure that out. Hopefully we can get it a little bit bigger and still stay within budget. And it's not really the budget. It's more along the lines of, can my property hold a big pond? It might not be able to. And so that's a bummer. If we can hold a 1/4 acre pond, I think that would be rad. But Pete thinks he currently has it as 15%. And we'll just have to see what we can get from that. But basically with this pond, the plan is to have maybe bass and bluegill. We'll definitely have catfish and maybe some bluegill, so that we can definitely fish and we can get some kind of protein from it. But then a cool thing that we want to be able to do is to get as much water within that pond as we always can, because in heavy rainfall events, what we can do whenever that pond is full and overflowing on this spillway, I don't want it to spill out. So whenever that is happening, I don't want to lose that water and go over to my neighbors. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to have a pump that's going to take water from the pond and pump it all the way uphill back into these swales. So again, I am taking that nutrient fish water, the fish poop from the pond, and I'm going uphill. It's going to feed the trees. The water is going to soak into the ground, so that in heavy drought events, it's not going to stress the trees out as much. And then over years, who knows, we might even recharge the aquifers, and so just be able to make the land a little bit better. That's going to be it for today. I know it was really fast. There's a lot going on with this. I'm going to do probably at least 2 to 3 more videos of these videos. I want to try to stay within the 10-minute range for these videos, but for something like this, if you're like, hey, I want more, please tell me. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments of what questions you have about this design, and what would you like for me to cover in the next one. Chicken, goats, sheep. We even have pigs, because there's a lot of oak trees on this property. So a lot of acorns that we want to turn the acorns into bacon. So let me know your questions down below. Let me know how my voice sounds with this very nice microphone. So guys, I'll see you in the comments. I got a really cool video coming up tomorrow that I think you're going to like. It's not going to be about this design, but it's going to be good. We went and we visited some friends that they're doing some cool stuff with growing their own food, so I think you're gonna like it. Once again, my name is Bo Brotherton, bettertogetherlife.com. For me and Kelly, we'll see you next time. All right, bye guys.